Hi all.
Good morning.
Simon, Ali and Rolo's down here somewhere. We're in the back garden of a hotel having a coffee and it's really, really lovely. But I want to tell you something. Last night, I was trying to explain this to Simon. I find navigating myself around the world very, very difficult, or even and understanding it really difficult. Shut up, Simon. I was trying to explain to Simon that last night I was looking up into the sky and I was talking to our eldest son about what I could see. And I said, look at that. I said, there's loads of stars that seem to shoot about or move. I said, I was tracking them, right? Because we were sitting outside in the dark, just looking up, having, trying to do my neck exercises in the dark. Anyway, but that's by the by. All these shooting stars, well, they weren't really shooting stars. They were moving fairly slowly. And my son said to me, Mum, that's satellites. I said, satellites? I said, well, they've certainly got lights on them. I said, they're slightly more yellow than the normal one. I'm trying to explain this to Simon. Now, first of all, these are the satellites, I assume, that, like, for instance, when you're travelling and you want somebody to tell you the way, you must have somebody up there in them saying the way, right? So you've got someone up in one satellite, and this is what I'm assuming. And they've got another satellite, which, just bear with me a minute, this will come clear in a minute, where you've got, like, which sorts out all your information. Now, that, you send up by text and things like that. Isn't that correct, Symes? So, you see, I was trying to explain to Symes about this. The problem is that I get a bit muddled in my head how these things work. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee, see if this ignites my brain. Extremely good coffee. This is the Grosvenor in Stockbridge. They do a good coffee. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. Right, where was I? Satellites. Sorry, my ADD is terrible. Right, so satellites. First of all, where are you going? What are you doing?
He's just knocked his water into the bag.
Oh, for crying out loud. Does it matter? We've got Rolo down here. Oh no, it's my bag. Good thinking, Batman. Okay, forget the water. Right, let's just carry on with this. Satellites. Who puts the light on in a satellite? Like, you can't see them in the day. I understand that because it's too light. But when it gets dark, you can see them like you can see the stars. I get that. But if the satellites, apparently there are some up there, my son was explaining this, that don't work anymore, but they just stay up in the I don't know how they stay up there, but they just stay up there, right, and float around, and they're not used anymore. So does that mean then that a satellite that's floating about will just float about forever and it's not in use, but it still had its light on? Does the light run out? How does the energy in it to make things work? How long do they last up there with the information in them? Does the woman die up there inside? I mean, I know there's not a real woman, but nevertheless, I always think that there is. What happens to her information that tells us the way in the car? Does she die suddenly after a couple of years? I mean, what happens? How does this work? Can anyone explain?
No, dear. Probably the man that sat on the light. That's why it's called a satellite.
What man? See, I've got no help at all, have I? No help whatsoever. Simon,
Yes, dear.
put on your knowledge brain. What do we know about satellites? I could Google this, of course, but last night when I was outside looking up at the stars, I was fascinated by this, and I couldn't help my brain jumping to and fro and thinking, this is incredible. We've got all these satellites just above us. Why don't they fall on our head? And also, the other thing that I said, if all that information's going up there, imagine if there are other people living in different planets, yeah? Like the clangers, for instance, yeah?
Yeah.
Or other living beings. Could you imagine? They must be listening to all our conversations. You know, people are worried down here about being injected with something that might make them, you know, be tracked. I don't know why they're worried. Half our data's up in a satellite, or most of it. And actually, not only that, we're talking to people that are in space that probably can take our information even further. Do you think, Symes?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, can you see where I'm going with this?
Straight to the nut house, I think.
It's not funny, Simon. I'm trying to make sense of this. So, I just wanted to, you know, sit and have a chat with you this morning about satellites and what I've learnt and what I'm still trying to work out. Anyway, you say bye-bye, Rolo. Look, he's got his barking collar on because he won't shut up this morning. And don't worry, it doesn't give him an electric shock before anybody. It just gives a beep when he barks. So he knows, so he doesn't bark anymore. See, I get how that works. All you have to do is put a battery in that. What do you reckon?
What, the dog?
No, the barking collar. Actually, that's a thought. Maybe those satellites run on a battery. Duracell or Ever Ready.
Oh, they're ever ready.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.